Hey guys, this is Ryan Sheehy, and this is episode 5 of my first feature. And today I'm going to be answering a question that I've gotten from a lot of the readers for my script, a lot of friends and colleagues, and they've all been asking me the same thing: why Mexico? Mexico wasn't on my radar immediately. When I was outlining my script, I was envisioning New York City. I liked kind of like the fast pace, like hustle and bustle of like getting swept up in your work and wanting to escape that. However, once I started pitching the film to a couple of friends, they started to turn some gears in my brain and started making suggestions. So I had a friend who was like, oh, this sounds like very European. You could totally make this a film that takes place in Germany and then they're escaping to France or Italy to Spain or anywhere. But my initial thought to that was, no way. I don't have any resources in Europe. I don't know how the permitting works. I don't know how to get actors out there. That sounded like it added more difficulty to a film that was already going to be difficult because it's my first one. So that's when the idea of Mexico came up. I knew a couple of producers who had lived out there in the past and had made movies there. So I reached out to my contacts, asked for some advice, and each person said basically the same thing. You're not gonna know if you like it until you go there, but there is a booming industry in Mexico City. So that's where I went. So one of my favorite things about Mexico City is the architecture. And it's not one specific style of architecture, because I think that the landscape of architectures has so much range, from Spanish colonial to Art Deco and mid-century modern. What's so awesome is Mexico City kind of feels like it's in a time capsule. There's so many eras of architecture that are so well preserved. For me, I love movies from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Those films have such a cool texture and grit to them, like when you see older movies from New York, even up to the 90s. I watched Eyes Wide Shut the other day, and that's 1999, and New York City looked completely different 25 years ago. So that's something that I was really, really obsessed with when I went to Mexico, and I took a bunch of pictures and videos, and I loved that I can have the texture of an era that I was obsessed with in the present day. Another big reason why I wanted to shoot in Mexico is because of the themes of my movie. The major theme of my movie is you can run away from your problems, but you can't run away from yourself. This is a permanent relocation where you have to abandon your old life. You have to leave your family behind. You can't take any like photographs or journals or money, or you can't take anything with you. That is why I wanted to use location to be a place that kind of acted as a place that you couldn't recognize, a place that feels foreign. And my character is like an American actor, and having an American in a foreign setting instantly kind of sets you in a place of discomfort. Like the language is different, the people look different, and this person doesn't quite fit in. And that displaces our character, which has been displaced like in the exposition of the film. So I felt like this added to the theme and made like the audience feel like the character doesn't belong here, but he doesn't really belong anywhere, and that's a big problem in the internal conflict with the lead character. Okay, so here's a few updates. It's 2025 now. I am back from Mexico. I did a lot of location scouts. I think that was like the biggest thing for me during this last trip, was to like meet a couple of producers, which I did, and get a production company involved, which I have. I will disclose that information later once we have contracts and stuff signed. But I met with a location services company that represents a lot of locations in Mexico City and around the country of Mexico. And I met with the owner of the company, and he took me on a tour. They picked me up from my hotel. And there was one location that I was drawn to the most, and to me, like, I come from a producing background, so I want efficiency to be a big part of my script, but I don't want to prioritize efficiency over compromising the story. But I found this kind of compound. They call it a multi-form set, and it's this big building, and it's got a lot of locations inside of it. I know that there are studios like that in Los Angeles, but not exactly like this, because this place is exactly like, it's not built to be like prefab studios. It is like actual locations that all happen to coexist in the same like warehouse building. There's a auto body garage, there is like a metal workshop, there is like 1970s like style like bar and offices that are all like wood panel walls, like old bars, like old TVs and projectors. And then there's a really awesome one bedroom apartment, and it's the rooms are so spacious. Like, maybe I'm like used to New York City and having like your shoebox apartments, but like there's so much space, and it is going to be so perfect for production. I can probably, like, with this one main location, I can probably film the majority of Act 1 of my movie, which after that, my movie kind of becomes a road movie. So the majority of my locations can exist in one place where my production can kind of camp out for a whole week, and we can get most of our scenes. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. This is the end of episode 5. I'm going to be doing these a little bit more regularly. I'm hoping to get them out roughly bi-weekly. It kind of depends a little bit on my schedule, and also what kind of updates I have. If I have something to talk about, maybe that I'll do them a little bit more regularly. But please subscribe if you're into the content, like the video, that makes me happy, and leave comments, ask questions. I want to answer questions. This whole video that you're watching now was based on a question that was asked to me several times. So yeah, if there's anything that you guys want to know about me or my movie or anything, we can engage in the comments, or maybe I'll make a video about it. But thank you guys so much for joining, and we'll see you in the next one.